Okay, this is part 2 of the 1968 Harley Davidson XLCH that I just recently picked up. I've got a dilemma with the bike as far as the rear fender. As I talked about on the last video, the rear fender has had a modification where they put in a battery box into the rear fender, and you can see it down there. I don't know if it's welded in or JB welded or whatever, but so that has to be fixed. I do have a brand new fender. Let me show you. Gotta go in the other room over here. And I bought this rear fender over here for the homemade bike. And this is an original reproduction fender from V-Twin. And as you know, on the other bike where I tried to adapt this in it, it didn't turn out as planned. But this piece back here, is where the battery box is on the other fender. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to use this fender, this brand new fender, on the 68 XLCH, because that's an original bike, original VIN. So I think the fender needs to go on that bike, and then on the homemade bike I'm going to modify that fender or bring it back to normal, whatever normal is anymore. But I'm going to I'd be able to cut this out because the indentations are almost identical. So I think I'm going to cut that out and weld it in the other fender, and then use the fender that's currently on the 68 XLCH now for that repair. And then that way this bike gets a brand new fender, and then I can use this fender for the homemade bike. I just think that's a better fit for this bike, having all more correct parts for it. I just ordered or found on eBay the correct oil tank. I also found the it's not a fancy problem, but on the air cleaner, I do have the original air cleaner in this bracket here. I found that on eBay, relatively reasonable. I did find the oil tank has a lower mount to it. I think it mounts on this bracket and goes over there. I did find that. So I need to buy that. I haven't bought that yet. But I'm going to replace this carburetor and put it back to the original Tilson carburetor. I also commented last time that this didn't have the spark advance, which I thought it did. But I think the guy told me, and I just forgot. But since we have a lot of Harley parts hanging around, I found this part, and I have multiple buckhorn handlebars. And this was on the right hand side. This is the throttle piece, and it is actually, when these are made, this piece here is actually silver brazed or brazed inside here. They just heat it up and they braze that. So this has been brazed in here. Well, I can't do that because I don't want to ruin the chrome. So I cut on the other handlebar, I cut it down and was able to get this piece out. This piece goes all the way back. This piece goes all the way back probably to about here. So I was able to just cut this pipe off and get it back down to, and I was fighting the, I made this really thin so I could peel it off from the brass brazing that was in there, or it could have been silver solder, but I think it was brass. I think it was brazed in there. So I've got that, and then I actually got this almost to a press fit, but it was still kind of, it was a press fit, but I could still pull it out. So I actually put some JB weld in there to get it to be in there basically forever. JB weld's great for a mechanical pair. I cleaned that off and sanded it off really good inside there, and I cleaned it off, so it's just got a really thin coated JB weld in there, and so that's good to go. So now I have the Spark Advance throttle, or not the Spark Advance control for the magneto control. And where that goes, sorry I'm moving around a lot, but so where that goes, that cable comes from, it's an internal cable, so it comes in from over here, comes down, goes through the neck, and then it comes out back through here, and it connects here, right here. So that's the moment of advancement. So this is totally retarded, and then that's totally advanced. So it mounts to here, and then it also has a bracket that mounts to here. And so now I'll have that configuration. And that's kind of what I'm doing right now with this bike. I'm just, I need to just start collecting parts. I need to find a rear fender or a rear chain guard for it. I also found the front forks. The front forks, it's got the ears on it, so it's the earlier one, and it came with the chrome sleeve that goes in here. The lower neck is different because there's a little flange piece that actually mounts the fork boots, and I do have a set of fork boots. So I've got to find this lower fork, the bottom fork tree piece. I got to find that to have that to go back on it. So that's kind of what I'm doing on this bike. Is I'm just going through trying to get the original parts or a very good reproduction, because this bike needs to be totally original. Like this chrome piece here, that's not correct. But I was thinking, where do I have one of those? And I've got one on Frankenstein. Good old Frankenstein. Because when I was changing this back to try to make a 70, so I have, here you go, there it is right there. I have the tail light for Frankenstein, so I'll put that chrome one on this, because Frankenstein doesn't care. He likes bling bling and all that. So that's what I'm going to do for that. So that gives me that tail light that's original, because that actually came off of the 1972 boat tail I have, because that was on that. The other portion of that fender was on the then came Bronson bike. That was the original back fender, and that I bobbed and created that other cut. If you've been following my videos, you could see I'm cut and pasting stuff together. But trying to make it right. You know, that's you know, I don't pay a lot for these bikes, but I do want to try to bring them back, you know, as original as possible. I'm going to have to find a correct front fender for it, because the front fender on the 68, this last year I believe they did it, where they had the front fender support and the rear fender support, and they only had one ear back over here instead of having the two ear. So that's going on, and I'm just trying to go through and get stuff kind of organized and keep an eye on eBay for stuff that comes across where I can get it. But right now, the main thing is to get, I need a fender for the 1973 homemade bike, and I think this is a good candidate for that bike. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just take that, because hopefully the rest of that bottom fender is there. I think it is. There should be two holes at the bottom of it. Yeah, there's two holes down there, and there's got the little guard between them with the dampener. So I think that'll be great. I think that'll work. So I'll have to fill these holes in. I did it on the other one. So that's what's going on with this right now. I'm going to take that seat off. I'm going to use the buddy seat. I'm going to put the buddy seat on this bike, because that buddy seat would come with this type of bike from the 68. So I'm going to do that. I haven't looked and see what the frame number is yet. I need to look at that. As far as when the production of it was, they're typically stamped right in here, and I haven't looked at that yet to see what that is. This bike does run. There is some videos out there, because I did buy it from I didn't know it at the time, but I bought it from a YouTuber. Doyle Underground is the name of his website, and you can see this bike where they were kickstarting it and riding it up and down the street. So that's out there. So my hat's off to Doyle for being such a nice guy. When I went up there to check this bike out, super nice, and he's got a cool website. You need to check it out. He's got a lot of machine stuff that he's working on, and he's a very talented guy. He's got a 3D modeling printer, and I'm just an old mechanical guy. But you need to check his stuff out. It's a good watch, and so that's where I got the bike from. I got it from him, and so this is, you know, I'll maybe show off and on. I'll probably do mock-up on this once I get the oil tank and some other pieces. I'll do the mock-up before I go through and then totally break it down. But that's where we are with this one. So this is the newest one in the fleet. This is the 1968 Harley Davidson XLCH, and this one, the title's clean. The title matches the engine number. The frames weren't, back in that day, the frames weren't stamped. And I was talking to you about the getting this coating off. And I just sprayed some crap on there to see if I can do it. I actually used a Easy Off baking oven cleaner, and that took it off somewhat, and it's, you know, it's a heavy lye type stuff, but so I need to go through that. I just want to see how it was, so I can, you know, because that's the way it should be. Those are just regular. Somebody went in there and went crazy with paint stuff. And it's also got a chrome rear fork, and I got to work on trying to get that chrome off. I think you can get that chrome off. You can soak it in muriatic acid, which is just a hydrochloric acid, and you can remove chrome. So anyhow, I want to thank everybody for watching. You know, I'm going to try to keep these videos up. I enjoy working on the stuff, and off and on trying to, you know, find parts for it. I got to tear all this other stuff off, like that. That's a voltage rectifier. I got to go into also I found one of the plates for that oil filter. I found the outer bracket. That one's chrome. The other one, it should be okay. I just got to remove the chrome off of it. So I got that coming. I bought that off of Evil Bay. So anyhow, that's kind of where we stand with this, and I'll keep cranking out videos. If you want to keep watching them, I'll be here. And you know, Frankenstein's gonna have an extra part put on him, and we'll get the right part for this guy. I like this color a lot. I don't know if it's the correct color. I think this is Datsun Racing. This close is very close. I had a 2004, yes, a 2004 Softail Springer, and it had what they call the sinister blue color. It was a beautiful colored bike, and so that could be this Harley color. It could be the sinister blue color on this bike. So, all right, well, thanks for tuning in. Until next time, this is part 2 of the 1968 Harley Davidson XLCH Sportster. Thanks for watching.